Pfizer released an internal press release this morning at 6:45 a.m. and they're kind of giving the update on their continuing phase 3 trial of 45,000 participants. So now they followed these patients for at least 6 months. The initial thing, showed about 2, 3 months of follow-up. Now they have 6 months of follow-up, and they're saying it definitely works until at least 6 months. And we don't know, is it 6 months, is it 9 months, is it a year, is it 2 years, is it 3 years? Not sure, but it's at least 6 months. Um, the other thing that's interesting is now after 6 months of follow-up, there's 91.3% vaccine efficiency as opposed to the 94, 95% that was at the 2 months. So that's relatively the same. I think the most important and most interesting thing about this is towards the end, right here, where they talk about where they had a trial running in South Africa where the B.1.351 lineage, that's the one with the E484K mutation, that all these previous studies had shown have immune escape from the vaccine sera, like this one that's going to be published in Cell in this month's article showed that that it offers limited protection against this variant. And then this one showed that, in these patients that were vaccinated twice with Pfizer, that they had a 14-fold lower neutralizing antibodies against the B.1.351. So, from the in vitro data, it seemed like definitely there would be a decrease, and then the Johnson & Johnson and Novavax interim report showed that there was a decrease in efficacy against the B.1.351 variant. So you would expect similar things from the Pfizer as well as the Moderna vaccine because they all use the same proline pre-fusion conformation stabilized spike protein as their immune target. Um, but they're claiming that they had 800 participants. So that's caveat number one. Very small numbers, 800 participants, as opposed to the 30, 40, 50,000 of the bigger trials. So they had 9 cases of COVID-19 and they were all in the placebo group. So they're saying there's 100% vaccine efficiency. As you can tell, because of these small numbers, you see the confidence interval is it could be 53% efficiency or it could be 100%. So there's a large range. Whereas here you can see in the large trial where they had 46,000 participants, they say that they're 91.3% efficacy. And you see their confidence intervals somewhere between 89% and 93%. So that's a much tighter confidence interval. So this confidence interval isn't, it could be as low as 53 or it could be as high as 100. But anyway, this data seems to suggest that they're quite good at protecting against the B.1.351 variant. And I don't know if this is just luck and the actual number is going to be 53. And if that's the case, that's more in line with the other vaccines. Or if it truly is really good, it's like almost 100%. If that's the case, I would expect Moderna to have similar efficacy against this variant. And maybe there's something about the mRNA variants that make it a little bit better than the protein or the um, adenovirus vaccines. So that was the most interesting thing. That in this small group they had 100% efficacy. But look, as the caveat, the confidence interval was quite large, 53% to 100%. So just wanted to go over that. I thought that was a really interesting finding. And so now I was thinking that they were all the same. If you had a choice between Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, I was thinking maybe you should just get the Johnson & Johnson because it's one dose and it seems to be pretty effective. But if it truly is this effective, and I think, to before you definitively say anything, we need to wait for bigger numbers on this. But if it is 100%, maybe Pfizer, Moderna, because I would expect Moderna to be the same, but Pfizer would be kind of the way to go. Um, but I wouldn't put too much stock in this. This confidence interval is quite large. but I thought that that's the thing that jumped out at me in this press release.